just for a bit of clarity, we're going to carry on because staff have got a bit of work to do on the transport side of things. So just want to give them a wee bit more time. So we're going to carry on with parks. Is that right?
Yep.
Is that right, Mary?
Yep. And so just to clarify that is we've got the advice about meeting LGR requirements. We just need some work on materiality. So when you make those decisions and debate them, you will have that information. So
Can't quite hear.
Oh.
Sorry.
So just clarifying that staff want to do some, as the Mayor said, some more advice around those transport ones. We've been through which ones comply with LGA, but the team want to go and do some modelling around materiality.
Thank you.
So rather than hold you up, we want to move on.
We'll carry on. Okay. So number 48, we're on page, now this will come as some surprise, we're on page 13 of 33.
So we've ordered up the... Yeah.
Righto, yeah. So it's number 48. It's Councillor Moore. I can't be bothered this anymore. I'll just say Andre.
I'm happy to withdraw 48.
Righto, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Now we'll move on to number 21. Jake, Greening the East. Withdraw it. Who is your seconder, please, sir? Hasn't got a seconder, that's it, you're toast.
No. So this one here, that one that's highlighted. So is this, Jake? Is that your motion? You're happy with this motion?
Up there.
The one that's on screen. Okay. You've got a seconder for that?
Melanie.
Okay, move on. Yep.
Okay, righto, next one. Andre, number 53. Sarah's seconding it. Number 53. Number 55, Tyrone, Park Rangers. Your seconder is?
It was removed, I think.
It may have been, actually.
Yeah. Yep.
Tyrone, what do you?
Sorry, what was so?
You removed this one, didn't you? That was your text.
I didn't remove it.
55?
55? No, but I'm happy to take the revised wording. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Good. That's Councillor McDonald to second that one.
Okay, great.
In capital.
What do you mean?
In bold.
Number 55. Sam, 55, number 55.
Yes, but
Been
no.
doing business with you, Sam.
Tyrone's moving the one on. He's moving that. Yeah, that one about advice, isn't he? That's the one you're moving. Yep.
Does that say that? Or not?
No, because that was that one. He's moving this one.
Yes. Okay, Yanni, Washington Skate Park.
Yeah, so I'm still happy to move the original amendment because my understanding it's important to create a line item for this, but the other work will also be happening as well, particularly around the portfolio work that I've already done, that I'm already underway. So the key thing, as my understanding from talking to the chief executive earlier today, is the key thing was to get a line item budget on, which is why I'm sticking with the original one. Yeah.
Okay.
Just to clarify, I don't remember that conversation and advising you of that, but
small amount on for planning and defer some of the money to the next financial year, if that was easier for the budget and the materiality. Well, I mean, how long is a piece of string, right?
Didn't they say?
Yeah.
It's worth noting my next amendment seeks to do the same thing, but I'm happy to adopt the staff wording, which would allow staff to use internal resources to scope this project before coming back to us in the annual plan.
The thing is, if we wait for another year, that's effectively 2 years that these young people won't have to train. So it's really important to get it, in my view, based on what we heard. If we want to, get something done, it would be good to try and get some progress in the next 12 months.
So 65 and 66, they're real close to similar.
Yeah, so yeah, which is the foreshadowed one?
Well, in effect, mine works now as a foreshadowed, and it's the staff wording. It just doesn't put an arbitrary figure on in year one, and when that won't actually do anything.
That one's quite difficult to put a figure on budget that we don't know why that figure's on budget. We've got no idea of. So it wouldn't, auditors and the public would say, where did you get that figure from?
The submission.
I thought there was 100K.
No, you said 300, right? From memory.
Roundabout.
Okay, now righto. So are we better to? I'm sorry, Yanni. Are you better to? I know you seconded the Jake's one. Are you better to do that, or do you still want to go with your one if you get a seconder when you get a seconder?
I'm not quite sure that one could comply. I don't think that could go ahead. It's not. You can't put money on budget that you don't know. You haven't quantified that is what you need or how much you're going to need.
So then is it possible just to remove reference to the future annual plan and just get a report back? I mean, I can just do it as part of the sports portfolio report back next month anyway, if that's easier.
Well, I don't think. I
But
think next month would be a
we
bit
ha-
too fast. But we could remove the annual plan, and if there's potential to bring it back earlier,
Yeah.
and we can identify funding, either
Yeah.
external funding or partnership funding or
program level funding, because
reprioritisation in the
we do
programme,
have
can
program
that.
level funding on for
Are
it.
people happy with that
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, and I'll let Yanni move the sensible
Okay.
wording if he wants to.
Okay, so remove 65 and 66.
I reckon, mate.
Yeah. So it's going to see that council request staff to work with skateboarders to scope and define an upgrade and report back to council.
Okay, so does that
Can I
mean?
see the updated wording, please?
Does that mean that one vanishes? No.
No. It's going to be request. It's going to be. So we're going to request staff to work with skateboard stakeholders to define the scope of works for the upgrade of the Washington Council and report back to council. And then the noting that the upgrade should include a ramp and other improvements, and take the reporting back out of that one.
Can you look at the spellings of state card?
That's all right. Well, yeah, that's okay.
So sorry, Mary. I'm listening to something here. Is this
Should
supposed
we-
to belong or not?
No, that one's gone. That one's gone. It's
Yeah,
been-
should we be mentioning the ramp? Because that's the primary contention.
Okay, so now we're up to Tyrone's one. It's number 14, Allendale Hall. Have you got a seconder?
Sarah, and can I just on the, I'm happy to accept the highlighted text, except could you change a future annual plan as to the next annual plan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We did have one hiccup about this, is that we didn't see any submissions apart from a one oral submission, one person who mentioned this in an oral submission. There were no other submissions on the LTP.
There's been a lot of engagement with our community board on this one.
Yeah, but that's different to LTP submissions. We're in
Yeah.
That's why it's a
LTP
work
process.
with rather than a just fund.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so work with and come back. Yep.
Okay, sorry. I have got
Sarah.
Aaron. You had a question. Sorry, Aaron, and I've written it down but I haven't said.
Oh, it was back on Yanni's
Couple
one. It
back.
was just that it's the submission was about the delivery of the vert pipe.
Yep.
And he offered to lead a project that would cost up to 300,000, and that's what the amount. I was just going to say, if any amount was being put on today, it should say up to, because that way, when you're partnering, you
We're
can
not-
do
we're
it.
not
Because
pushing.
if we do it, you will add a zero. We need all practical options. Yeah.
Okay. Tyler. Sorry, mate.
No, you can scratch
Okay.
one.
Victoria.
My question's Tyrone. I'm just trying to understand Allendale Hall. Given that it is a priority adaptation location, and the coastal hazards adaptation planning process is already underway. I would assume that they're already engaging with the various stakeholders so that that process is already happening. So it seems like a duplication to me. Can you just clarify what's different?
Yeah, sorry, thank you, Victoria. But I think, first of all, the community, I mean, there is a hall there, a fully functioning hall that was poorly repaired during the earthquake, and it's or after the earthquake. It's caused a whole lot of subfloor problems. So, in theory, the hall should be available to the community to be able to use, and it should be able to be used for the next 10, 20, 30 years, rather than sort of like, yes, it is in a low-lying area in terms of coastal erosion and sea level rise, but until that time comes, it is a fully functioning hall, and it really is an important community asset. So we don't want to have to second guess what the outcome of that process is going to be.
Sure. So you want to be able to use it in the interim whilst the coastal hazards adaptation planning work is going, and then the next.
Much more succinctly, thank you.
And the next part of it is, are there any budget implications, or is that what we're waiting to see, and the work that they're doing with the Residents Association will determine what the public budget implications are in order for it to be operational?
That is correct, and there's a willingness for the community board to be able to support that as well.
But we're not committing to any other funds at the moment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so number 32, Andre, reduce library collection resources. Do you want to talk about that? Page 15.
Councillor Barber's expressed a keen willingness to second, as did Councillor Coker, in fact. People are queuing up to second this one.
So the only hiccup we have with this one is there were no submissions on it.
Actually, we did have some submissions expressing concern about library books that we're buying.
No, we had some submissions about, and there were only two, about put more on electronic rather than hard copy books. Yeah. So that was still the same program. We had nobody cutting the program.
Oh, we had some expressing concern over the content of books as opposed to the volume of.
So nobody submitted on reducing this program. But so that just makes it hard to amend an LTP if there are no.
Is it not material that people came in and requested that rates were the rates increase was lower? Because that's what this does effectively.
The sheet in front of us says not material.
Not material, but that's in terms of the audit process. Yep. That's not in terms of the LGA process. So as we've said before, this is the finance assessment of that would audit consider this as material.
So we still keep.
I just had a process question.
Hang on, order that one. Sorry,
Which
that one.
Oh, me. Number 7. It's a question of staff. So I can see library staff. That in the sheet that we have, it says a 2% reduction each year, year on year for the 10 years in the LTP. And what is that going to do with affecting, recent titles and keeping up to date with, the quality of the books that you have in the stock?
Thank you. We have looked carefully at that, and we believe that we can balance that, noting that this includes print and digital resources, so it's also including the e-books, e-magazines, everything downloadable as well as the printed physical items. So we have looked at that carefully. We have got an items per capita level of service, which is 3 to 4 items per capita. We've looked at that as well, and based on performance over recent years, we believe that we could achieve that within budget with the number of libraries that we've got at the moment.
So you don't think this is going to reduce the level of service that most library users currently enjoying?
That's correct.
Really?
That's correct.
Okay, no, I just want to be clear, because that's quite scary. Thank you.
Now we've got we've got a lot of questions on something that's not a very big dollar amount. We've got done, Pauline. Sarah, please, then Vic.
Just a quick one, actually, it's for Mary. Process-wise, this has happened a couple of times now where there's not a comment on the sheet about the LGA requirements for an amendment to be able to be put. But in previous iterations of LTP and annual plan, that comment's been here, not able to be put. And I'm just wondering if that's part of the process. We've got HOS, Head of Service comments this time, but I'm just wondering if that part of the process got missed this time, and that's why we're running into issues now.
So it was out in the early advice and it is in the advice that's on the website. So this was not saying it's not able to be put, this was just flagging and noting that there were no submissions on it.
Okay, so the fact that there's no submissions on it doesn't mean that it doesn't meet the requirements? Is it just we're okay with we know the views and preferences, or but because it's not making a difference, it's okay?
It's 2%, probably.
Yeah, so it's about 6,000 titles a year. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just unclear on whether not having submissions means we can't put something, because that's been a comment in the past.
What the assessment was on it.
Yeah.
While Mary's checking, I'll let Victoria have her talk, please.
Thank you. My question's been answered by Caroline, thank you, around the fact that it's not going to be detrimental to the collection and that you can achieve it within that 2% reduction. Thank you.
Andre, then Jake.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's the only amendment here that's operational savings, so I dare say hang on to this one. But just to reassure, so the amounts, the budget still increases year on year. So if you look on the bubble tool, so yeah, 6 million one year, next year 6.3 million, the year after that 7.1 million. So it's just 2% lower on each of those years. So it's still going up, it's still keeping up with inflation. But yeah, the advice we got a week ago is that it won't make a great difference to the operational. Well, yeah, it still increases each year. So for example, 6 million this year, and by the 2030 year, it's 8.7 million. So instead, it would be 8.6 or whatever it is instead of 8.7. So still increasing every year to keep up with this and that.
Jake?
Caroline, just checking, is this primarily about new titles, or is it about replacing quicker existing materials? You know, basically a book may have to last longer before it's a bit more tatty before it's replaced, or is it about both?
It'll be about both, in actual fact, yes. I have quizzed about that replacement or that renewal cycle, which is typically around 7 years at the moment.
Right, so it's not just fewer books, it's also book condition.
That's right, but we're not anticipating significant impacts. I mean, it's very hard to say there won't be absolutely something, but we're looking at it across and noting those increases to the budget. We've looked at the actual dollars that based on how we've been performing in recent years. We are not expecting a detrimental impact for our customers.
No, I just wanted to note that. So it's because the sweating the books is more, more attractive than losing titles.
Aaron?
May I just say something? It is CapEx. Just to clarify, it's CapEx, not OpEx.
Yes.
So I just wanted to make that really clear.
Thank you. Yeah.
So
Aaron?
that assumption that it's
Weird borrowing money to buy books, but I think because there's been no headlines today, if we could call this like a 2% book burning, just to get the public interest up, that kind of thing.
A lot to withdraw.
Okay, righto. So, Victoria?
So just picking up on Caroline's comment about this being CapEx, not OpEx, is the rates impact in that far right column therefore correct?
No, we're just checking that this is a CapEx item.
Through you, Mr.
Yes.
It would be
Yes.
But we can find out. But
Yeah,
it's
we'll
less.
find out. Thank you.
It's quite minuscule.
It'll be 0. Okay, so right, moving right along.
so change it to
16.1. Now this is one of Celeste's.
0. Rates. No, it wouldn't even be 1.
16.1 on page 15.
Oh yeah, I'll take this one.
You'll move it,
Yep, I'll move it. Yep.
and Melanie, who will second anything that's going. Okay.
From the wheels to wings one.
Well, it's already seconded.
But I want to move the I don't want to move the proposed amendment. I want to move the amendment as it currently stands as the proposed amendment on this sheet.
Reinstate the 60 grand and then the 90 grand after that. Is that the one? The original one.
But not from the Environmental Partnership Fund. As a line item. Yep. Yep. Exactly.
Okay. You're right, Sam. Not going too quick.
Sorry, Tyrone. This is coming as new money. Is it what you want?
Well, it's reinstating.
Oh, it's reinstating. Yep.
Okay. So I imagine the next one, Tyrone, will be the same mover and seconder. I'm thinking. 16.2.
There's one submission on it. So Tyrone,
I'm happy to second.
Correct. Yep. The red is what I want to.
The red is the one you want.
Yep.
So it's next couple of $100 grand. Okay.
Correct.
All right. So you get a mover and seconder. That's right.
So do you know what the costs are based on?
so what's wrong with the bottom one? Tyrone, what's wrong with the bottom one?
Sorry. What was that? Sorry?
Do we know what the costs are based on?
Sorry. No.
Can't.
Mary's talking to Tyrone for a start. Sorry.
So you wanted it out of rates as opposed to out of capital endowment fund?
You're talking about the $100 grand?
The one that you've just spoken about, yeah.
Yeah.
He wanted the red.
Can I just come back to that?
Okay, come back.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
I was just trying
I'll
to
come back very
contrast
soon.
it. Like we had the skaters gave a figure and that wasn't acceptable. The group gave a figure that's acceptable. Just trying to understand how we can put money in for one group that comes and says, here's what we need. And actually that quantum isn't even addressing what they need either. So
cool.
just trying to understand that from a consistency point of view.
So we're just getting clarification about that, what from Tyrone. If it's a grant that just goes to the group, I think it's different than us building a capital program that we don't know what we're building. So the skate park is building a skate park. We've got no idea what the scope or what the cost would be. This one here is just about handing over a grant to a group.
Can I ask for clarification? Is A 16.2, is this what you're proposing, Councillor Fields, that the council provides 200,000 in FY20?
I can clarify. So 100,000 out of the Capital Endowment Fund. Yep.
Great.
Where's that? That's the other one. That's
No.
So
it's just
update the wording of what's highlighted to take it out for it to be from the Capital Endowment Fund.
and it's just 100,000. It's not the 400.
It's so we've reduced the amount. So it's 100,000 over 2 years.
I
And
see.
it's out of capital endowment fund.
Out of Capital Endowment.
So there's no rate
Correct.
impact.
Yeah. 100,000 a year over 2 years from the Capital Endowment Fund. Thank you.
Can I foreshadow an amendment then that the 100,000 be taken out of the environmental partnership fund? Oh, actually, no, I don't think I can do that because we haven't established the terms of reference and it will be a contestable fund. Okay, sorry.
So, yep.
Can't do that.
Kelly.
Thank you. Tyrone, given that the Department of Conservation put together a goat hunting competition, which achieved massive results in the Kaikoura area, would you consider just taking $1,000 of that 100,000 advertising for pig shooting in the Banks Peninsula area, and you'd have private hunters come
The
and do
short
a great
answer
job?
to that, Councillor, is no.
Okay, moving right along.
Let's let the professionals
The
take care
next
of it, buddy.
one is page 6. Come on, guys. Page 16, number 19. It's Celeste, which I assume Tyrone will move. Enviro Schools funding.
I'm quite happy to move this one if you wanted it.
Okay, Tim's going to move it, and
Yep. Enviro Schools.
Tyrone will second it. Okay, so we'll put,
So it's only 10 grand.
I believe that's what the
I know.
Environmental Partnerships Fund is for.
No. Yeah.
the next one is number 54. It's our old friend Tyrone again. Orton Bradley Park.
No, there should, so the red text on the sheet is what I want to move. Top red text.
Received, not
So
the
that's Environmental Partnership Fund over the next 2 years with a view to a line item in year 3.
So
60
just my question then is, can we predetermine applications to the Environmental Partnership Fund at this stage?
Well, we can make a recommendation.
Potentially, but potentially you can, because you would write the terms of reference to ensure that these were applicable within it.
That's why it says supports.
Okay, so
Not
then
directs.
I will foreshadow that for the other one, the feral pigs. If that fails, I'll foreshadow that it comes from the Environmental Partnership Fund, please. That
you
was
haven't
number
got a policy that
16.2.
doesn't make it.
Who's Tyrone? Who's your seconder, bud? Okay.
So Tyrone, just to clarify, is that the alternate one that's received?
Top one. Top one.
Is that the bottom one? Is that? Oh, is it? But it's highlighted. Okay.
Top one.
Yeah.
The top red one.
That's the top one.
Yeah, the top one is the one I want to move.
The top one, not the bottom one. Right.
Sorry about this. The team here were just juggling things coming in all the time, morning, afternoon, night. And
Key
changing.
is it's coming from the Environmental Partnership Fund.
Okay. Now we have a surprise. Tyrone has got another one. Number 40, Akaroa Heritage Park. The Melanie's the seconder, I assume.
I'm happy with the revised wording post workshop.
Great.
Yeah.
Because that's
Thank you,
more
Councillor.
like your one, Councillor Johansson, where we can't put a figure on because we don't know the scope of works.
Melanie,
thank you.
are you okay if Sam seconds that?
Sorry. Just the same. Can I to inform the next annual plan process though on that one, number 40,
What's that, Tyrone?
rather than no future, just for the Akaroa Heritage Park.
If we can, we will, there's a lot of work deferred as the annual plan starts next month. We'll need to come back with a work program
All right.
and let you prioritise
That's
that
all right.
work program.
Yep, good idea.
So we'll do that across all
Okay.
the motions. Yep.
All right. Heavens, Tyrone, Governor's Bay Jetty.